Skipping, the greatest sport ever created. It's fun. It cuts your grass.
It cuts your grass! Oh my god.
It's portable.
That's amazing.
And best of all, it's relaxing. But the other day, as I was having my after exercise shower, I slipped.
After exercise,
I was lying there,
exercise
I had a
shower.
thought.
I did
Okay,
a thing.
before I attempt to see if I can skip fast enough to stop the rain, I'm going to do some very bad maths to figure out how fast I actually need to skip. So I looked up the average speed of a raindrop, which travels at around 10 meters a second and has a width of 3 millimeters, which is around 10,000 millimeters a second, and if the skipping rope is 4 millimeters thick, 800 rotations a second to stop every drop of rain from hitting your head. And after doing a quick skipping rope test myself, I'm actually pretty close, with around 3 rotations a second. So either I need to step up my steroid cycle or find another way to do it. And after looking online, I found this Chinese kid who currently holds 2 world records. The first as the fastest jump roper in the world, and the second for the most amount of ants killed in 30 seconds, managing to do 216 skips and kill 10,127 ants, which works out at around 7 skips a second. So I got excited and immediately sent him a message asking if he wanted to join me in the shower where I could pour water on him. But he never responded, which means I'm going to have to cheat and make something much stronger than me and this kid. And I think I know where I want to start, with this cement mixer.
I mean, I wouldn't reply to that either.
Rod stuck in here with a skipping rope on one end so that when I turn it on, it acts like a spinning arm.
That does not work.
And that
doesn't
crap.
look good.
The rope didn't do a full rotation at all. It kind of just wobbles in one spot. But after doing a little bit of research, I found this strange advertisement for a skipping rope machine made for children that are either incredibly lazy or that have no arms.
Oh my god.
And it works way better than my cement mixer, even though the motor is much slower and weaker, probably because the spinning arm that the rope is attached to is much longer. So I made this slightly scary looking arm and attached it.
This thing is terrifying.
Yeah, that thing is terrifying. But that seems to work okay.
So take this face shield.
Jump, jump, jump it. Set your speed and take the lead. Jump, jump, jump it.
Oh my god.
Okay, stop. Let's try faster. Just obviously, if it gets tangled, release immediately because otherwise the blades will come into my head. Ready, set, go. Okay, stop.
And after the rope snapped and whipped me in the eye, I decided it was time for me to make it much faster and stronger. And after raiding the bin of the local pool shop, I found these. But more importantly, this, a 2,500 watt pool pump, which spins at 2,800 rotations per minute with a 7 meter minimum head. My head is only around 40 centimeters, but hopefully it should still work. So I just got a giant metal blade, drilled a hole in it, and attached it to the motor, which seems slightly dangerous.
Just a sword attached to a motor.
So I secured the motor to the table and piled up some stuff to make sure I don't decapitate a passerby. And turned it on.
If you hear me scream, come into the garage. Actually, you should probably stand away from that. 3, 2, 1. Okay.
Okay, the motor starts slowly, which is actually good for me, as it will increase my chances of being able to skip. And the blade also didn't fly off, which gave me confidence to see how fast this thing will go.
This is nuts. I'm like...
3, 2, 1.
Jesus Christ.
That's so terrifying.
It is fast, and I didn't
That
let it build
is
up to
very
full speed, as I didn't
terrifying.
like it that the high-pitched noise it was producing was getting higher and higher and louder. But I'm happy with it, and decided I would attach some more things that can fly off and kill me. Like these bearings on the end, so that when the skipping rope is spinning around, it doesn't get tangled up. So I just clamped
Yo, that's
them
smart.
down, then welded them in place.
Why is he using his foot there? What? Why can't he have someone else hold one
And I
of
don't know if
them?
you've ever watched life hack videos on TikTok or Facebook, but they always weld directly to the bearing when they're building their weird life hack cock and ball torture devices. So I believed it would work. But it doesn't. These bearings do not turn. And I think it's because the little balls inside must be arcing and then welding to each other, which means I'll need to friction fit the bearings. So I cut out a small section of pipe and welded it onto the metal strip, then pressed the bearing into it.
Okay. I'm learning what not to do.
Which didn't work either. So I'm going to get even more janky, and I'm going to use these washers and some super glue to very precariously hold the bearings on. I am dying to see if this will work. So I just
Super
poked
glue.
through the rope and attached the other side to an anvil. And after giving it a spin with my hand, I reckon this might work.
Please work. Kind of works.
Oh my god, that... Oh, the whipping. When he gets whipped. When his leg will get
I'm a little
whipped. Oh
disappointed,
god.
But I'm hoping it was just because the rope was turkey slapping the ground. So I pulled it back so that the rope is just above the ground and gave it another go.
3, 2, 1. That is much faster.
Which worked much better, but still nowhere near fast.
Berries. What do you
So
mean?
I
I don't know what is fast
by
enough to
reducing the weight of
scary.
the spinning arm with some wood.
When will Jack get this kind of whipping paws?
But because of the thickness of the wood, I've also had to cut
Maybe
the
at
nut
10K
which holds
subs.
the spinning arm to the motor in half, which
About
really
that.
doesn't give me much confidence.
3, 2, 1.
That is so quick. This very scary as well. Doing that.
Stay together. That is so much faster.
And the wood spins much faster than the steel. But for some reason, as soon as I added the rope, it slowed down heaps.
Why is it slower? And I'm wondering why it's getting slower. Because the wood is rubbing against the motor. I was like, why is this so hot as well? That makes so much sense. Okay, round 4.
Interesting.
This time with a split in the wood. 3, 2, 1.
And there goes the wood.
Wood snapped in half. So I think the wood is a bit too weak.
But I ignored my own advice and attempted to use the wood again, but this time with another washer to give the wood some support.
3, 2, 1. Whoa.
Whoa. Holy shit. This was even worse.
I cannot use wood.
Cannot
And
use
after that great success, I decided I would go back to using the steel, but add another rope. So there is double the chances of it hitting the raindrops.
Imagine that
And
hitting
to
you,
do
no
that,
thank
I need
you.
to attach the other side of the ropes to something that spins. As if it doesn't rotate, the ropes will get tangled and will then pull themselves into the giant death blade. And I reckon these bearings which came off a Lazy Susan will probably rotate enough for that. But after a quick test, it's very obvious this Lazy Susan doesn't want to spin.
That's crap. Susan.
But then I had an amazing
Susan.
revolutionary
Why are you lazy,
idea.
Susan?
Maybe I can invent a tiny palm-sized spinning device with a bearing in the middle that has 2 bearings on each side. So then you can hold it in the middle and it can spin freely. So I came up with a couple of
fidget
designs,
spinner?
and this one works the best. And I reckon if anyone watching wants to make a pile of money, all you need to do is mass produce these cheap in China and then sell them to children all over the world. Just get me in on some of the profits.
You mean a fidget spinner?
Okay, the palm spinner idea seems to work. The rope is making a full rotation without getting tangled. But I'm kind of worried the 3D printed plastic will break while spinning at high speed and then the wires will come loose, creating the world's largest whippersnipper. So I stacked up some more stuff to protect my family who are on the other side of this wall in case the whole thing flies apart. Then gave it a full speed test.
3, 2, 1.
This is fascinating. It's like watching dumb shit happen.
Now.
And I am amazed. I've never made something that works first go before. And the high-speed camera confirms that the palm spinner is doing a great job of rotating and not tangling the ropes. But just like Paul Walker, I need to go faster. And I've realized how. Aluminium.
Aluminum?
Beautiful. 3, 2, 1.
Also known as aluminium.
That
Lulum.
worked really well. Maybe too well, actually, as I think I almost turned it into a propeller. So I attached the metal wires, and luckily while doing that, discovered that the 3D printed palm spinner had broken. So I used the last of my skateboard bearings and created a new spinner out of aluminium and super glue. Now,
Hey,
I'm
he
ready
said
for the
it
final
right.
test before trying to jump rope fast enough to stop the rain.
3, 2, 1. Oh my god, that's quick.
And I reckon that's as fast as I'm going to get it. So I put some Loctite on the bolt of the propeller to make sure that it wasn't coming off.
Now you know
And
the
then gave
part.
it a proper tighten.
What did he
And then
use
I
on
grabbed
his
some
thing?
stuff around the house to
Glue?
make one of those stupid rain devices that every single...
Did he use glue? A screw glue? I see. Just like Fred Lockett said slow, he's fine. I'm not asking if he's fine, I'm just like curious what it is.
So now hopefully when I open this tap,
That's
the
kinda
water
cool.
runs through the hose into the bath, past his legs, down the drain, through the pipe, and
I
then
like
out
the-
hose before it falls directly onto
perspective.
this wire. And I was about to turn it on for a test, but luckily remembered that my yard is always filled with birds that fly around, and the last thing I want to do is create a magpie pie. So I
My
decided
God,
I would just wait for
pie
night.
pie.
Nice.
And before testing the machine, I thought I should have a go at skipping so we can get a comparison
That's really
and
nice of
see how
him.
bad I am.
Oh, it's gonna be so cold. Go. Oh. It's not doing anything.
Cold water
At
during the
first I thought I
night.
got all
Oof.
cold and wet for nothing, but after looking at the high speed, you can actually see that the skipping rope was doing something and hit the rain, leaving a trail of mist, which gives me hope that the full
Really?
speed test
I
will
can't
create
see
an
it.
air bubble force field around them.
Am I
And my
too
original
blind?
intention was to attempt to skip
I
in the middle
legit
of this
can't see
machine,
it.
but after seeing what
Oh, I
happens when
saw
goes
it.
wrong,
Yeah, I saw it right
and
at the
seeing
end.
what happens when it goes
Barely.
right, I'm not going to risk it.
Barely.
Chinese jump rope kid, if you're watching, the offer's still open if you want to come smash your own world record. Okay, I decided to start with the shower setting, which most resembles rain.
Oh. Oh.
And at first glance,
Look at
it didn't
that
seem very
beauty.
successful either. But in the slow-mo, you can see that it definitely impacts more raindrops than before and creates a line of mist where the rope
Yeah, it
spins.
creates a lot more.
And it does it especially well against the larger raindrops. So I changed the setting on the hose and gave it another go.
Pew, pew, pew. Man, this is satisfying. He made mist. Yeah. This is so satisfying.
And this is awesome to watch. I kind of
Yeah.
feel like I'm watching a battle take place. Raindrops
This is
versus
amazing
an
to
insane man.
watch. Raindrops versus an insane man.
And it doesn't hit often, but when it does, it's extremely satisfying. I was entertained for
It's
at
like
least
popping
3
in the bubble
minutes
of a
while editing,
rapper, yeah.
having fun betting on which raindrop is going to explode. It also worked slightly better when I used the mist setting, but not because it hit the drops, but because it creates a kind of circular airflow which slightly changes the path of the rain. But besides that is a complete failure. It stops maybe 1 out of 100 raindrops. But while watching the slow-mo, I realized something it is not a complete failure at. The giant lights placed directly behind the giant spinning wires means I've created the world's largest, most elaborate bug killer. Poor guy.
Oh.
Okay, let's chuck some stuff into it.
Why would you do that? Chat, I have questions.
Okay, this is what it did to the banana. Not very impressive. But the banana did this to the machine. This thing is so.
And that was also a waste of a banana. But luckily, I've been learning to grow heaps of delicious bananas at home
Jesus
with the help of
Christ.
today's sponsor, Skillshare.
This part. This is very satisfying to just watch. Very soothing. Plunk plunk. It's so nice. Ow.